Mary McEachern is 101 years old. Her husband, Steve, passed away in September 2020.
I was married to Steve for 72 years. As she would say to me, every year he'd take my hand and say, "Well, kid, we made it another year."
When Steve died, his estate was worth $40 million.
When they first met, they lived in a one-room apartment. It was one room, and they had nothing.
While Mary worked full-time as a nurse, Steve built a business with Investors Group. They had no children. In his will, Steve made provisions for Mary to be taken care of, and after her death, the remaining fortune would be donated entirely to the Rotary Foundation of Canada. He was a member there for 45 years. But according to Mary and their niece, Steve changed his mind about which charities should benefit before his death. That happened early in the COVID pandemic.
He was 99. He wanted to change his will, but we were in full lockdown, and his lawyer, aged 82, had retired. And his wife was 96. There's absolutely no way that we could have got a lawyer in there.
City News reached out to the Rotary. They dispute the family's claims that the foundation is preventing the family from amending the way the $40 million estate should be dispersed.
If that's their perception, I am so sorry, because that's not Rotary. That is honestly and truly not what we are.
Rotary Foundation Canada former Vice President Dean Roars says that the foundation was not even aware of Steve McEachern's will until 18 months after his death. She insists that Rotary is a family and they would have done anything possible to stay out of court.
But we have been working really hard with Mrs. McEachern's legal teams, and to know that there have been multiple legal teams that we have been working with, which means that each time we are dealing with a new team, asking our questions, trying to identify exactly what the basic information is, and we have to start back at scratch post again.
Mary's niece says the Rotary Foundation has not directly spoken to Mary or the family since Steve's death.
Sadly, and this really makes me sad, Mary has never had a call from anybody at Rotary Canada to say, "We're so sorry to hear that your husband passed away." Not a card, no flowers. She has had zero communication. And yet they're in the front of the line to say, yes, well, that $40 million is ours. And I think it's outrageous.
There was a contact from us. There was written in his book of memoriam, and there was a notification from the Rotary Foundation itself. There was a card or a letter that was sent. You know, when one is suffering so much loss, things do get missed. So it can be forgiven if that wasn't seen or noted on.
Mary is now appealing to the public to ask the Rotary to reconsider its stance and open dialogue.
There are 700 local Rotary clubs in Canada, 1.2 million Rotarians who are, and I want to stress this, they are hardworking, boots on the ground. They devote their time and their effort. And I think that they would be shocked to know that all of the good work that they do is being what I considered tarnished by the way that Rotary Canada is handling this particular situation.
It needs to be resolved. Mrs. McEachern, in fairness to her, in fairness to the other thoughts, it doesn't have to be a legal thing. We didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice. By the stage we were involved, it was already a legal issue.
In Edmonton, Bianca Millions, City News.